Hey everyone, I'm Levi, and welcome to Spread the Word, the podcast where we dive into the delicious, the delightful, and the downright weird sides of everyday foods.
And I'm Grant, and today we're getting smooth, creamy, and just a little bit salty.
That's right, we're talking all about butter. Love it or fear it. Butter's been part of the human kitchens for thousands of years, and let's be honest, it makes everything better.
Toast, better. Popcorn, better. Steamed vegetables, way better.
Your cholesterol? Well, we'll get there.
You know, butter's been around for a long time. We're talking ancient Mesopotamia here. People were making butter as early as 2000 BCE.
Yeah, and what's wild is that it was probably started by accident. Imagine someone traveling with milk in a goatskin bag, bouncing around on a donkey or camel all day, and at the end of it, boom, butter. It's a surprise dairy gift.
The ancient Sumerians even had a word for butter in their own writing. That's how much they were into it.
And in some cultures, butter was more than food. It was symbolic. In ancient India, ghee, a special type of butter, was used in sacred fire rituals. In Tibet, yak butter was molded into religious sculptures. Butter was spiritual, sacred dairy.
Meanwhile, in Rome, butter was considered medicine. They'd slather on wounds, swallow it for stomach issues, and even use it as a hair treatment.
Cleopatra might have had a secret butter bath. She probably smelled like toast.
And in medieval Europe, butter's story got complicated. Lent mean no animal products, but people didn't want to give up their buttery pastries, so they paid up.
Literally, butter taxes. You could buy a pass to keep eating butter during Lent. Somewhere out there was a monk making spreadsheets of dairy sins.
And let's talk Vikings. They're obsessed with butter. Huge wooden barrels of it. Some even paid rent with butter. Like, here's 2 pounds of churned goods. Now give me that fjordside cottage.
Imagine your landlord knocking and you're like, hold on, let me churn your security deposit.
Even better, in medieval Ireland, there was a tradition of burying butter in peat bogs to preserve it. Some of that butter, called bog butter, has been dug up 1,000 years later.
And it's technically still edible, which raises the question, should you eat it or frame it?
I'd try it. 1,000-year-old grilled cheese, I'm in. Alright, let's talk types, because butter isn't just butter anymore. We've got salted, unsalted, cultured, and European style.
Don't forget grass-fed butter. That vibrant golden hue comes from the beta-carotene in the grass. It's like the yoga teacher of butters, all mindful and full of omega-3s.
And of course, ghee, clarified butter, with all the milk solids removed, used in Indian cuisine, shelf-stable, and great for high-heat cooking.
It's like butter's older cousin who lives abroad, wears linen, and owns a spice grinder.
And texture matters too. European-style butters often have 82 to 86% butter fat compared to US standard of 80%.
Which means they're richer, softer, and make the best croissants. If regular butter is pop music, European butter is a jazz solo.
Quick PSA, if you're baking, go with unsalted butter. That way you control the salt levels in your recipe, not your butter.
Also, butter flavors are having a moment. We got truffle butter, maple butter, and anchovy butter.
There's even wasabi butter for people who like their toast to fight back. Butter has had some real pop culture moments. Let's start with the classic, butter sculptures at state fairs.
Yes, giant cows made entirely out of butter. Like, who was the first person to look at a stick of butter and think, you know what this needs? Hooves.
Iowa's been doing butter cows since 1911. That's over a century of dairy-based art.
And then there's the iconic Paula Deen. Butter was basically her brand.
She didn't just cook with it, she performed with it. Add a stick of butter was basically her motto.
Also, let's talk butter lamps in Tibet, made with yak butter. These small flames are used in Buddhist rituals and monasteries.
Some are lit for days, symbolizing wisdom and enlightenment. Basically, it's spiritual ambiance by dairy.
And back to bog butter. You know what I learned? Some of those old buried butters have notes of blue cheese. Others taste like waxy death. It's like Russian roulette with ancient fat.
But people still try them. Like, I'm not afraid of ghosts, I'm afraid of expired dairy.
We would like to take a moment to thank our sponsor, Super Buttery Salted Butter brand.
Yup, it's the best butter around.
The Super Buttery Salted Butter brand uses all natural ingredients from planet Earth.
Oh good, because I'm allergic to Mars. Ah yes, the great kitchen rivalry, butter versus margarine.
Margarine was invented in the 1800s as a cheaper fat for Napoleon III's army. A little chemistry, some beef tallow, and voila, fake butter.
By the 1950s, margarine was booming. TV ads everywhere. Housewives spreading it with mid-century flair.
And it was marked as healthier, made from vegetable oils, not saturated fat.
But then came the trans fat era. Margarine had lots of it, and trans fats, they mess up your cholesterol worse than a drive-through binge.
Eventually, science said nope. Countries started banning trans fats. Margarine had to rebrand.
Now you'll see tubs labeled plant-based spread.
Meanwhile, butter's back with a vengeance. We've got $12 grass-fed organic butter. Butter that's churned in small batches by monks in Iceland, probably.
There's even pink Himalayan salt butter, lavender butter, bourbon butter.
It's not just a spread, it's a lifestyle. Let's hit a few listener questions. First up, can you freeze butter?
Absolutely. Butter freezes beautifully. Just wrap it tight and you can store it for months.
Next, why is butter sometimes white and sometimes yellow?
Well, it depends on what the cows eat. Grass-fed cows produce yellow butter thanks to beta-carotene in the grass. Grain-fed butter tends to be paler.
Last one, is whipped butter healthier?
It's just regular butter with air whipped in, so fewer calories per tablespoon because it's less dense. But nutritionally, it's still butter.
So you can tell yourself it's healthier, if that helps. Okay, weird butter uses.
Bring it on.
Some athletes use butter to prevent chafing. Rub it on like lotion. You might smell like a pancake, though.
And butter is used as a skin treatment for centuries. Cleopatra might have been slathering it on for that glow.
People used to rub it on burns. That's an old wives' tale. Pro tip, though, don't do that. It just traps the heat.
And butter coffee, made famous by the bulletproof movement. Blend butter, coffee, and MCT oil. It's breakfast and rocket fuel in a mug.
I tried it once. Felt like I could see sound. Let's do a butter blitz. Rapid fire facts.
Did you know it takes 21 pounds of milk to make just 1 pound of butter?
France leads the world in butter consumption, over 18 pounds per person per year.
In ancient Scandinavia, butter was so prized they buried it with the dead, like, here lies Eric and his snack.
In Bhutan, families store butter in yak bladders. It's a delicacy. Imagine asking someone, where's the butter? And they hand you an inflated organ.
In 2017, France had a national butter shortage. Croissants were endangered. Panic set in.
Newspapers called it the croissant crisis. French grandmas were hoarding butter like it was gold.
And here's one for the record books. The largest butter sculpture ever made weighed over 3,000 pounds. That's 1.5 tons of dairy art. So whether you're slathering it on toast, baking into cookies, or carving a life-sized cow out of it,
butter is more than just a spread. It's a cultural icon, a culinary powerhouse, and honestly, it's just plain delicious.
Thanks for tuning in to Spread the Word. If you like today's episode, be sure to follow, leave us a review, preferably a buttery one.
And remember, life's better with butter.
Until next time, stay smooth.